let's begin looking at amines. Amines are a group of compounds that are considered derivatives of ammonia. And remember that ammonia is NH3. And an amine is when one or more of those hydrogens are replaced with alkyl or aromatic groups. So these hydrogens can be replaced by various R groups, various alkyl groups or aromatic groups. They may be the same, they may be different. Okay? Now with amines, we want to name them. So to name them, so say root or fundamental ideas, take the E of the alkyl group attached, okay, replace it with the word amine. Okay? The other root or foundational idea is to use the N prefix, capital N prefix, for each alkyl group attached directly to the nitrogen. So let me give you some examples here. So we have CH3, CH2, and then we have nitrogen. We have something like this. So where we have one of the hydrogens has been replaced with an alkyl group. Okay? So the 2-carbon alkyl group is ethyl or ethane. Okay, is ethane. Okay, we replace the E with the word amine, so we call it ethanamine. Now that is the IUPAC system. And it does have a common name, which is just the alkyl group, ethyl, amine. Okay, so that's the common name. Okay, common name, IUPAC name. Okay, let's try another one. Okay, so we have CH3, we have CH2, we have CH3, and let's put our nitrogen here. So we have something like that. So we have our amine group. There is the alkyl group attached to it. Okay, its root is butane. Is the root, butane. So we change the E to amine, so butanamine. Okay. Now there's one other characteristic we need to put here, and that is when this alkyl group attached is 3 or more carbons, we need to acknowledge which carbon the nitrogen is attached to. So we need to give that numerical location. Here this is carbon number 2. So we're going to call it 2-butanamine. Okay, well, let's try one more. Okay. Let's have CH3, CH, CH2, CH2, you'll have NH2, and let's put a methyl right here. Alright, so here we have our amine attached right here. Our longest carbon chain is 4 carbons. whichever direction we go. We've got 4 carbon chain, so we're looking at a butane. So we're looking at some sort of butanamine. Okay, so let's go ahead and get that written, butanamine. Now, the amine is attached to the number 1 carbon there, where this is number 1 carbon, number 2, number 3, number 4. Okay, so we have 1 butanamine, so that takes care of this amine attached to the butane. But back here on 3rd carbon, we have a methyl, so we need to include it 3-methyl, 1 butanamine. Okay. Alright, now let's do some where we have this N prefix for each alkyl group that is directly attached to the nitrogen. Okay, directly attached to the nitrogen. So let me draw a structure here. Okay, so here on the nitrogen, we have 2 alkyl groups attached. We have a methyl and we have 1, 2, 3, 4 carbons. We have a butyl. Okay, so this is a butane root. Butane. This is a methane root. Okay? So now, when we have 2 or more alkyl groups directly attached to the nitrogen, we want to use the longest carbon chain, okay, as our root, as our backbone of that amine. So we're going to use the butane, and this will be a butanamine. Now remember, if that chain is 3 or more carbons, nitrogen's attached, we've got to acknowledge a numerical location, so it's on the number 1 carbon, so we're at 1 butanamine so far. That is acknowledging the butane. 1st carbon is attached to the nitrogen. Now we have to acknowledge the methyl over here. So the methyl is attached to the nitrogen, and we use this capital N prefix to help us acknowledge that methyl is directly attached to the nitrogen rather than somewhere on that butane chain. Okay, so we have N-methyl. So methyl is attached to the nitrogen, and we have a butanamine. We have a 4-carbon amine where the nitrogen is attached to the 1st carbon in that butane chain. All right. If we have more than one, methyl attached to the nitrogen here. So let's say we replace this hydrogen with another methyl, then this becomes N-dimethyl 1-butanamine. Okay. We need to put N so that we know that both of the methyls are directly attached to the nitrogen. Okay, dimethyl, so both methyls attached to the nitrogen, and then one butanamine to recognize that the butane root here is attached through the first carbon to the nitrogen.